Cox here for a brand new 80s metal guitar lesson. Today we're going to do Kingdom Come, Get It On from their debut album. The tuning for this is a standard tuning if you want to play along with the record or this video. Also, I have on my Patreon page the full tablature for this song is available for members, or you can do a single purchase for the tablature. It's a great way to use this as a reference along with the video. So let's go ahead and get started with that opening riff. Okay, here's the opening riff. So the great thing about this, if you know the opening riff, you also know the chorus of the song. So we'll go ahead and go over that first. And the first we're doing an open A string. It's going to be open A, 5 of the A's, 5th fret of the A, and 7th fret of the A. So we go. And then you're going to come here and grab the 5th fret of the D string. So we have. That's the first part. Now when we come back from this 5th fret of the D, we're going back to the 7th fret of the A and then the 7th fret of the D. So we have open, 5, 7, 5, back to 7 on the A and then 7 on the D. Okay, the next part. So we basically are kind of pivoting or back and forth from. So we're coming back to that E note on the A string a lot, which is the 7th fret. So we do back to the E note on the 7th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D, back to the E note on the 7th fret of the A, back to the 5th fret of the D. This part we go, so that's you're gonna shift everything down and go, so that's gonna be 4th fret of the D, 5th fret of the D, back to the 4th fret of the D, back to the 5th fret of the D, and then add the 7th fret of the D. So we got so far. Slower. Next part is so when you shift from the 5th position here all the way up to the 3rd, it just feels easier to grab it this way. I grab that first note with the which is the 3rd fret of the A, and then I actually play the 2nd note with the ring finger on the 4th fret of the A, so I can go. It's easier to grab that E note on the 2nd fret of the D. So you go. So I'll show what that looks like. Doing there is doing, so that's going to be 3rd fret of the A to 4th fret of the A, and 2nd fret of the D. Repeat that again, and then do that's going to be 4th fret of the D to 2nd fret of the D, and then you do a bend on the 4th fret of the D. Release to the 2nd fret of the D. Grab the G note, which is the 3rd fret of the low E. So, play everything slowly we have so far. That riff goes through several times. I'm not sure, I think it might be 6 measures total, or 6 times total. And then at the very last, the only thing that changes, it goes like this. It kind of just stops instead of it just stops on that fourth fret of the D in this same bend. So instead of, that's what it does for every other time, but that very last part before you go into the verse, it goes. So the next part is just the verses, and they're played the same each time. So I think there's 3 verses total. Each verse is played the same. Each chorus is played the same as the intro riff. So with the rhythm guitars here, we're going to be able to get down pretty quick. So we're going to be doing intervals on this. So intervals is just defined as the space between 2 notes. So usually I think the definition for chord is there needs to be at least 3 different notes to make a chord. But a lot of guys in rock play these intervals all over the neck, and they work really well. So that's what's happening here on this first verse here. So I'm going to play that through one time. Break all that down. So the first, and I should say, you're pivoting from a lot to the muted open A string on this. So you're kind of playing these little 2-note chords or intervals, and then you're coming back to that muted low, or muted A, not low A, muted A. So we have 2nd fret of the D and G, and we do a. So it's just play the 2 notes of the D and G on the 2nd fret, come to the open A, that's what basically it's just. Now from there, that would be considered what they call a perfect 4th interval, from that D to the 2nd fret, or the E note to the 2nd fret of the G. So that shape, you play that shape anywhere of those 2 notes stacked on top of each other on the D and G string, or the A and D, or the low E and A, is considered what they call a perfect 4th. So the first one's perfect 4th. Now the next one is a major 3rd interval. That's going to be the 3rd fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G. So we get a. Then, and the same thing, we take that shape, play it all over the D and G string, that same exact shape, or the A and D, or the low E and A, then it's still a major 3rd. So, and then we're doing a minor 3rd. So that's going to be the 4th fret of the D string to the 2nd fret of the G string, and it's just, so let's play what we got here. Now the last part, we're shifting back to a major 3rd interval. So that's going to be 5th fret of the D string, 4th fret of the G, and we do a. So it's. And then we do this. So we're just going to maintain that major 3rd shape there, but we're going to move that down, then pick it 3 times, and just shift it down to the 7th position. So it's 5th and 4th fret, so 5th fret of the D, 4th fret of the G, to 6th fret of the D, 5th fret of the G, to 7th fret of the D, 6th fret of the G. So it's, we go back to the exact same riff we learned earlier. So let's play this slowly. Part that you're basically keeping that pressure on the D and G string just until you get back to that A. Okay, so so you've just learned all verses of the songs. So that's again, pretty much what we have here is that introduction riff, which is also the chorus, and then we have these chords or intervals that we play, the riffage for the verses. Okay, so we've got all that down. I should say right before it kicks back into that main riff in the chorus, it does change just a little bit with the rhythm. So this is considered the last pass through to go. So it's just okay, so that's all it is. It's just and then into the riff. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to my Patreon page because I do have the full guitar tab for this song already up there, ready to go. If you want to become a member, I think it's $3 a month, and you have access to all the different guitar tabs I put up and videos. If you just want the guitar tab as a one-time purchase, you can also do that as well. I think it is also $3, so you can pay that, and then you can have access to print it off on your computer or just keep it as a PDF file. So I'll leave the link in the description if you guys are interested in that. Okay, so we're going to go into the guitar solo. A lot of this is based on the A minor pentatonic scale and the A minor scale. So A minor pentatonic, I've got on the Patreon channel the tab for all positions of the pentatonic scale all over the neck. And then of course it's just a regular minor scale that Danny Stagg, the guitar player for Kingdom Come, kind of weaves in and out of that. So the first part is going to be a bend here. So all that's based on that, 5-note blues note scale, or the pentatonic scale in the 5th position. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do a big bend here on the high E, 8th fret. And once you bend it up, you take it all the way up. It's called a bend and release. You bend it up, and then you release it back down to the original pitch. So now when you get to that, you come all the way back down. You're going to play the 5th fret of the high E, and then pull off here from the 8th fret to the 5th fret on the B. And then you repeat that again. So that's going to be first time, play that again. Now the last part you're going to do, so that's going to be 5th fret of the G to 7th fret of the G, and pull off from 7 to 5. And then land here on the 7th fret of the D. And pluck that twice. So we have play that again. Now we're going to move down here into the this will be what, the 10th position of the next A minor pentatonic scale, and it goes. So that's going to be 10 to 12 on the A, 10 to 12 on the D. When you pluck the 12th fret of the D string, you're going to slide from 12 to 14. Grab the 12th fret of the G. And then come here to the 15th fret of the B string and do a full bend, which is 2 frets. So you bend up. Now when you bend up, let it come back down, the bend and release, and go. So that's going to be 15, 12 on the high E, and then come back to the 15 and do a, so we have this so far. Now we're going to go here to the 17th fret of the B string and do an overbend. So when you do that full bend, it's like a hole and a half. You're going to play 17 on the B, and then 13, 15, and then end on the 14th of the G. And then come back to the 13, and then back to the 14. So we have. And then we do this. So that's going to be into the minor scale. So we have a 10th fret of the G to the 9th fret to 7th fret. So we have 10, 9, 7. We come back to the 9, back to the 7, to the 5th. Do this. And that's going to be 12th of the G, 9th of the B, and then 10th of the B. Then we come back and do another bend. Another overbend here at the 17th fret of the B. And we're going to kind of do a good pull down here on the 13th fret of the B. So when we do that, we go 14 G, 12 B, 12 G. Back to 14. Okay? So let's go, let's play that again we got. And then we come back here, back into the 10th position of the A minor pentatonic scale and do a, oops. Do that again. That's it. So you do this bend up here on the 13th fret of the B, and it goes. So you bend up, and come back down the pitch. We stop at this, and we bend it up, and then mute it, come back, and then do a hammer-on pull-off from 10 to 13, and then 12. So 12 back to 10. So we have. Then we do a. Now that's going to be 12 on the D, to 10 on the D, to 12 on the A, and then slide from 12 to 14 on the G. So then we do a, that's going to be 12, 10, 12, 10, 12 on the A. That's going to be all in D string, and then the last note's on the A string. So we come all the way down here. This is going to be, what, 20th fret we go. So we do this bend up here on the 20th. So after you do that bend, come back to pitch and do a hammer-on pull-off from 17 to 20 on the high E. And when you come back into that, so that's going to pull off from 17 to 20 on the B to 17 on the B. And then you do it. And that's going to be a bend up here on the 20th fret of the B string, and then you're going to grab the 20th fret of the high E with your pinky. And then you do a, that's going to be 17 on the high E, 20 on the B, 19 on the B, to 17. Down. So when you play that 20, 19, 17, you come back to the 19 and bend up. Oops. So when you bend this up, you're going to grab that 19th with the pinky finger on the high E. And a little bit of vibrato so we have. Come back here to the 17th fret of the B, and then go. And that's going to be a little chromatic pattern there. So you first hit the 17th fret of the B, and then come to the 19th fret of the high E and go. Bend it all the way up and do it. That. So that's going to be 19, 18, 17. And then you're going to switch all the way once you play 19, 18, 17, 15. Now once you come back to here, you get to the 15th on the high E, you do a, it's a little bend here on the 17th fret of the high E, and it goes. And the hammer on from 15 to 17 back to 15. So yeah. And that's going to be a hammer on pull off from 12 to 15. So a hammer on pull off from 15 to 17, and a hammer on pull off from 12 to 15. Go back and start that run again to see what we have so far. So we go. So when you do that pull off there, it's going to be 15, 12, 15, 12. So when you come out of that, back to a full bend there on the 15th of the high E. Then you do another pull off, and you come out of that bend. And that's pull off, 14, G, 12, B, pull off from 14, 12 on the G. From 14 of the D to 12, and you're going to do this little walk down. It's going to go 14, 13, 12, 10 on the A string. So the whole thing will sound slowly like this. The last notes that you hit, come back here to the 12th fret of the low E and then go.